James tried to prosecute the now President Trump in his second term. I just want to read a couple things. Criminal referral, then a response from James's office here in New York. James, for both properties listed above, this deals with real estate now, going back decades really, appears to have falsified records in order to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms. All right. Her office responded by saying the AG James is focused every single day on protecting New Yorkers. Specialist administration weaponizes the federal government against the rule of law and the Constitution. She will not be intimidated by bullies, no matter who they are. The issue here is what property she owned and whether or not she owned it, whether or not she was married, and whether or not her father was involved in all this. Without going into the weeds of the details, this stems from a case in 1983 and the year 2000. That's a minimum of 25 years. Someone had to do some digging to find this.
If you've been following along, we've just uncovered a jaw-dropping saga that's left New York politics in a bit of a tailspin. Big Tush Letitia James, the Attorney General, or soon-to-be former AG, who built her career on a relentless pursuit of President Trump, labeling him a total crook and a sick person on live TV, has found herself at the center of a storm that's exposed decades of her own alleged misconduct.
Letitia James over alleged mortgage fraud. James denies the allegations and says she's being targeted by the Trump administration. For more on this, let's bring in Fox News Sunday anchor and chief legal correspondent Shannon Bream. So what's this case about, and does the Justice Department have a case?
So there are allegations that she did not give proper information on loan documents, possible mortgage documents about primary residence, things that would have given her a better loan system to work with. More favorable terms. She and her attorney are completely denying it. They say this is complete revenge. And listen, presumed innocent. That's a great thing about our system. And an investigation is one thing. Do you get to charges? Do you get to a trial? I don't know. But Democrats have been telling us for years, as they did when she brought charges against President Trump, no one's above the law. You got to work through the process in the system, and we'll see how far it goes with her.
So essentially, she's being charged with something very similar to what she charged Donald Trump for.
Now, we've laid out the facts. The DOJ alleges James has falsified mortgage documents for over 30 years, even listing her father as her husband on one loan application to secure better interest rates, which I'm sure was just an accident or oversight. Official city records show her Brooklyn brownstone has 5 units, yet for 20 years, 2 decades, she claimed it had only 4 or fewer to, again, qualify for a federal mortgage relief program that she wasn't actually eligible for. She's left multiple mortgages off of her financial disclosures, violating state ethics laws, and spent $41,000 of taxpayer money on private jet rides with no contracts, receipts, or oversight to justify it. Her campaign then dropped another $12,000 on the same private charter company, all while asking for your $25 donations to defend the rule of law.
And you want me to sit in my seat and stand idly by and allow this craziness to happen? You could come after me if you want, but you elected me to stand up. You elected me to use the law. You elected me to go to court. You elected me to continue to challenge this administration. You elected me to stand up for the least of God's children. You elected me to continue fighting on. And I will fight on.
Okay, look at Al Sharpton in the back. First of all, he looks like he's about to disappear. He's lost way too much weight. Getting up and celebrating this. It's tough because you try to do all the using the justice system to destroy his life, and it's backfiring on you. It just doesn't work, man. Long term, it's not going to work. It's so painful to be her today. But she's still trying to fight the fight. Maybe the old man on the left is going to help her out. Who knows?
And here's what stands out the most. Despite her records being subpoenaed, Letitia James has never once denied these allegations or claimed innocence. The media, including outlets like MSNBC, has tried to brush this off as baseless, but the evidence tells a completely different story. Even lifelong Democrats like Sam E. Antar, who's no MAGA supporter, are fuming over the hypocrisy. As Sam pointed out in his recent post, Big Tish and her actions reek of 40 years of falsified mortgages, undisclosed rental income, and taxpayer-funded luxury, all while she plays the victim and begs for your support at actblue.com.
Payments to the state of New York and to states all across this nation. It is unacceptable, unconstitutional, ultra-vires. They have exceeded their authority. And so it's important that attorneys general representing our respective states stand up and enforce the rule of law, because Elon Musk, individuals at the Treasury, and the President of these United States is not above the law. And we will continue. You know, as attorneys general, we've been preparing for this. This is not the outcome that we wanted.
If prosecuted and found guilty, James could face up to 30 years in federal prison and a $1 million fine. But this isn't just about her. It's about accountability. We've seen what happens when personal vendettas like her witch hunt against President Trump overshadow justice. Now it's time for the system to hold her to the same standard that she's demanded of others.
Well, it's official. It is underway. This case against Letitia James is happening, ladies and gentlemen. We are learning that the first subpoenas have gone out of the Eastern Court there in Virginia. We have all the details coming up, plus more developments going on. The South African farm.
Moving forward, we would like to see the DOJ press forward with a thorough investigation, ensuring no one is above the law, not even those who claim to defend it or were hoping that President Joe Biden would win re-election and even offer her a pardon.
Am I right about that?
Yeah. Bill, the most I know about the case, I just learned from you. I saw it on breaking news this morning. This case was sent to us from Bill Pulte. We have not seen it. I inquired right before I walked out here. No one in my office has read it yet. We haven't looked at it. Of course, we'll be reviewing it. You just told me more than I've heard about it so far.
Hey, we aim to please with some breaking news of our own. Indeed. All right. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
And we'd like to see taxpayers spared from footing the bill for Big Tush's legal defense, especially after state lawmakers voted to authorize funds for government workers like her who face prosecution for doing their jobs. If James, Big Tush, Letitia wants to fight these allegations, she should do it on her own dime, not ours. But let's keep the pressure on for transparency and justice. This story is far from over, folks, so stay tuned, stay close, hit that like button, subscribe. Really would appreciate it.